With James Glassman, Managing Director and Head Economist for Commercial Banking, JPMorgan Chase, joining us all the way from New York. James, great to have you. Your time to join us and speak with us about your thoughts with regard to the Jackson Hole Symposium. What did you make of it? And do you think it's the same commentary coming in where they're saying that, look, the economy is looking strong, but there are no signs of big risks emanating in the economy? We've had the Fed Chairman Powell also indicate that inflation is rising, but it's nowhere close to getting into overheating zone.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, we heard nothing new. This is the script the Fed has been working with for the last couple of years. They've done a pretty good job communicating what it is they're trying to do. And I think, and this idea, the end game for the Fed is really get interest rates back to something more normal. In their mind, a normal short-term interest rate is about 3%, 1 percentage point over inflation. So that idea is largely already reflected in the market. So I think it's not a new story. They reiterated it, and we know, despite the political angst about all this, the truth is what the Fed has in mind here is not to step on the economy, but just to remove stimulus that's no longer needed. Otherwise, they create new problems. So I think it's the same story we've been working with for a while, and not very earth-shattering.
Okay, Mr. Glassman, what is the right way of looking at the U.S. economy? A U.S. economy which has got a booster shot because of tax cuts and because of certain one-time benefits. And as we roll over from 2018 to 19 and beyond, this one-time tax cut stroke booster effect will fade away?
Yeah, we don't know for sure. I mean, I think the benefit of the tax cuts probably will fade. But I think the open question is tax reform and some of the regulatory relief, is that changing the underlying energy in the economy? Are we going to be able to boost the underlying growth potential? We'll never know for another couple of years, but that's the open question. If not, then it means this stimulus that we're getting now will fade. And but I think there's a very good chance that we're going to find out that what's going on right now is boosting the underlying growth potential in the economy, because honestly, the big surprise to all of us is that although unemployment is extremely low, we keep seeing very strong job growth. And it's an indication that maybe we're not as maxed out, not as close to full employment as we thought. We're still pulling people in. So if that all has the effect of sort of boosting the underlying growth in the economy, then we may end up in a couple of years finding out that a lot of what's going on now will actually is going to benefit the long-run growth potential. But I think we're not going to know that for a while. But for sure, this year and next year are going to look very strong. I mean, I think myself, I'm looking for growth of 3 to 4%. We're already at 3% in the first half of this year. I don't think that takes a lot of imagination to get there, because when you have deficit finance tax cuts and spending increases, this is sort of unusual to do this when you have a fully employed economy. But we shouldn't be surprised that this is giving an extra kick.
So I think they've pretty much played by the script, and there's not been much change in their stance. James, thanks very much. We really appreciate you taking out the time at this hour and joining us this morning in India.